Hello, hello, hello. Today I will be going over the Tier 10 Czechoslovakian heavy tank VZ55. Now this thing is a beast of its own. It's an absolute powerhouse of a tank in randoms. Oof, my god. Has the potential of doing 1000 damage in 2 seconds, and that's the amount of time you need to peek for it as well. It's quick, it's fast, it's got a robust gun, it got armor, it got speed. I really struggle finding what's bad on this tank. I really do. There is so many good things about it, but let's get into it. We start off with a nifty little shot on the MX-3090 there, and well, friendly 51 here. I guess I bumped into him and he needs to bump into me. Ha! But let's go over the tank a little bit while we have this 20 seconds reload as well. 20 seconds. It's not 25 or anything. It can be closer to below 20. So it's actually pretty ridiculous. Trying to hit the upper roof. Trying to hit the roof of the Titan. It's not being successful, but my cupola withstands the shot, so we're fine. But to go over the tank a little bit, it's 490 alpha with 2 shots. You have 306 pen with the APCR. It's mostly just a full APCR spam tank. You don't want to change too much with the ammo. You can go 50-50, but most often do you leave out like an ammo here or there. And the shell velocity on the AP is not that good. It's like 920 or something. It works, but on tier 10 you kind of have to have 1000 as a bare minimum for it to be solid. And the shell velocity on the APCR is 1125. And this KV4 should not peak. You know, no KV4. You're not the big boss here, all right? And we have no chance of penning this T10. Well, we have a 51 barging forward. I'm not gonna follow this 51. I mean, to me, going up close there can just be spell doom and disaster. So I'm gonna sit back here, and I had a millimeter and a millisecond of a chance to shoot this T10. I saw right now. Well, the pen is 306 on the gun. Maybe you say it's not that good. It still is enough, I would say, the 306 pen. The only time it's gonna struggle is, you know, really thick armor. But this tank is such a good poacher, you have such a good mobility on it, that you don't really mind having that 306 pen. You're more of an explosive 1000 damage hitter, pretty much. You come out of nowhere, they had no idea. And that T10, he regrets. Essentially, you're a small, nifty little Jagdpanzer E100. But you're 4 times better than a Jagdpanzer E100. The standard dispersion of it is 0.36, but you can see how the gun handles. I've beefed up a lot with the tank though. I'm using Bounty bird stamp on it. Trying to hit the cupola of the chieftain. Well, boomer reflexes. Whoops. But the gun handling is pretty solid, and that's what you kinda want to get with this tank. Because there's so much you can boost up with the field modification and just having good equipment to kind of negate the bad of this tank, which is the gun handling, and it's I completely forgot the other thing that was a little bit bad with the tank. But we are saying screw it, let's move up. We want to be aggressive now. We have some wrecks here, a little bit hesitant since we did get spotted, but we want to at least take the wrecks so we know we're going to be safe in case someone gonna peek on us. And the 1008 is up there. That's a miss. That could be a hit. That could be a hit, a blind hit on the 1008. But like I talked about, the tank has, well, there's some armor for it. The tank's mobility is what really makes it work a lot. You have a top speed of 50, but you can pump it up that with turbo. I'm using the turbo on this tank. It's so good, actually. I was using the improved aiming for a long time, and then I switched over to try the turbo, and it changed completely how the tank is. Because, oh yeah, that's one of the other bad thing about the tank. When you don't have the, 268, thank you very much, Titan. Great commentary. There we go. Alright, well, he's regretting big time that he went up here and tried to muscle with me. But what I was gonna say, the bad thing about the tank is the turning of it. So with the normal IA, you don't really get this quick turning that you can cut out, click left or right, or you can really put the speed into it. And the armor of the tank is actually substantial. It's good, but it's not like great. It's obviously not chieftain armor like we have versus us in this game. But we back out of here. We wanna make sure that we don't die. A little bit scary backing here still, but we take the chance. Oh, 268 was not prepared for me to come here, but we gladly take that kill. And we care about just getting back here. The armor of the tank is actually quite substantial. It does work. It has these weak points with the cupola and right below the cupola where you can get hit. Like it's a line, you could say. So you can just aim. From my point of view right now, my left side. So you have a straight line, you can hit the cupola and the gunner's port. And the hull is 115. There's 300 on the turret. Can we? Oh, we hit that one. Magic. Oh, it's an orange gem there as well. What you doing? Oh, I'll take it. We take it. Easy pickup. The hull, you could say, is a weak point of the tank, but still is very effective. The hull armor still, it's still good. Chieftain pushed up. He thought he could assert dominance here, but no one asserted dominance upon the VC55. The VC55 shows you what happens when you... Oh, he actually hit that snap. Shows you what happens when you push up. Did we take it? Minus 900 on the Chieftain, poor thing. The tank in itself has 390 base view range, so it's quite easy getting that full view range. All you need is smacking in ventilation on the tank. I'm using bond ventilation, if I remember correctly. Yes, I am actually. I am using a bond ventilation that I had left over. And it's making that and the bounty word stab. You should probably have the bond word stab. But those two, the bound ventilation, bounty word stab, helps this tank be way better with dealing with snapshots. And we are in for a treat right now. Snapshots. Poor Leopard. He should know better not to stay still, so we can snipe him on the move. Easy. Or we have 2 tanks left to clean up. We have had a significant game. We had a little bit of a dicey moment. But I want to say this tank is not that hard to play, to be honest. It's kind of an easy heavy tank. You go in, you do 2 shots and then you back out. You forward 2 shots and back out. And you can take 1 hit every single time and you're gonna get up to 4,000 damage. Or you take 4 hits, essentially. You can always do those trades. But anyway, that's it for this little gameplay. Let's hop into the post-game statistics and see actually how much damage we did. And spotting and all those kind of things. And also the garage afterward. The post stats of the game, we have a 7,000 damage, 1,136 spotting damage. It's got, I think, the blind shot there on the 1008. Yes, we have a blind shot there on the 1008. We got a high caliber Confederate 2 kills. No ace tanker, but this tank you need to have a ridiculously strong game to get an ace tanker on it. But we got still a 1200 XP. It's respectable. It's respectable for this tank. And credit-wise, we took a hit in the credit bank there. It's only minus 50,000. That's like one more game in the premium tank. But anyway, that's it for the post games. Let's go into the garage. And in the garage of the VZ55, we are gonna go over the crew, the equipment, consumables, shells, and field modification. So let's start with the crew, like always. And here we're gonna do, like always, I would say you might not need recon, but you need situational awareness. So we'll go Brothers in Arms, Sixth Sense, situational awareness, and repair. I'll go full view range because I am a sucker to have a full view range on my tanks. I really like a recon, situational awareness, and then I take the repair. But if I have fully upgraded tank, then I can skip the recon and take the view range from field modification. But that's about the commander. And then after, well, on the 5th skill when we have repair, after that we pick camouflage. You could maybe pick jack of all trades, but I think the camo is gonna serve you better. For the gunner, Brothers in Arms, snapshot, repair, and then I'm actually gonna go concealment. I'm not gonna pick firefighting, because this tank rarely gets set on fire. It has a 10% in a base. Sure, the fuel tank pops a lot, but it's not a lot, but sometimes obviously. But you have a repair kit for that, so every time when you know you have a 90-second where you're not gonna be in a close battle, poof, quick repair. The driver, I picked wrong here, but I think it's because this is a crew from the tier 8, but I have Brothers in Arms, smooth ride, off-road driving, and then repair. I would switch repair with off-road driving. Off-road driving is important for this tank. So on the 5th skill, I probably pick clutch braking, just to combat its bad kind of turning speed or quicker turning it has. Because this tank it's all of these like small things, like the off-road driving, clutch braking is really stacking up and makes transform this tank into this powerhouse that we have in randoms. And for the loader, Brothers in Arms, safe stowage, repair, and then intuition. Intuition is just I don't see it as a particularly super useful. It's something good to have. It's kind of fun when you have this VZ55 where you're rushing up and you're like, oh, is that an FV? Then you double tap on the 3 key and bam, do you have even more damage. Wait, how much is it? I actually have not checked that. So you can do 1600 max. Oh wow, that FV I do not want to be in. Oh my god. Well, I gotta hopefully have that happen to me one day. Well, me being in the 55 shooting the FV, not the vice versa. But anyway, I digressing. Let's go over the equipment. And for the 2 types of equipment, I think you can go both standard in the way that I have gone here. So the first one is ventilation, turbo, and then vert stab. For the second one, switch to turbo for the improved aiming. Because you're gaining 1.5. It doesn't show, I mean it shows 2 here. But I think maybe it is actually straight up 2. It shows 2. Sometimes it shows 1 and it goes down 2, so it could be 1.5. But that dispersion change is quite nice when you're using the autoloader. And the autoloader is the way to go on this tank, by the way. Not the single shooter. A single shooter is fine. Single shooter is fine. It keeps up the momentum. It's I guess you could say it's simpler, even though I said in the video that this tank is kind of simple to play with the autoloader. I guess it's just different philosophies, so to say. But if I'm not gonna use any bounty or bond equipment, I would not pick mobility. I will pick firepower for the other one, just to boost up the vert stab to make the tank a little bit better in the snapshot department. So you just put the turbo in the offset, and then you put the vert stab in the firepower slot. But for shells, I said in the video, full APCR spam is probably the way to go with this tank. I have a second build where, you know, when you top tier and there's a lot of tier 8s around, then I have, you know, 20, 18 and 2. And the equipment, I'm using big repair kit just because I screwed up with my repair time on my driver, because I don't have 3 guys on repair. I want to have 4, obviously, which one day I will get, but that day is far away. And I don't see a point with the fire extinguisher on this tank. Not at all. It goes strictly with the butcher food. Or bushti. I have butchti? Butcher food. Bread. Anyway, let's go over to the field modification, which is the most interesting part with this tank, which you can transform it quite heavily. So for the first one, I actually did not pick, because I value that little bit hull traverse on the tank that I will get. It goes down a little bit, but I think if I had to pick anything, it would be this, like always, maintaining speed. The maintaining speed when crossing all terrain times, it also helps you to gradually turn. So the hull traverse, it says -5%. I think it's closer to like 4 or 3.5% because you're maintaining speed. So your tracks are moving easier on the ground. So you can actually turn. You turn actually easier with it as well. So it's a kind of a strange thing. But the suspension durability goes down. That's like, it's not too much of a cost. But for me, I have not choose which one I want to use. But, But if we continue, next one, smaller aiming circle. It's a no-brainer like always. I always pick this. The smaller aiming circle always better offset than the aiming speed. I have not found a tank yet where I want to pick the aiming speed over the aiming circle. The only one I can think of is E25. Just to have a ridiculous aim time, but even then, I don't know. But here comes to the part where I talked a little bit about with the crew. You want to get the 3% view range. Yes, the stun duration and the additional stun duration it's kind of ouch when it comes to when artillery shoots you. But the 3% view range is quite good to get, actually. It helps you, you know, not to pick recon on the commander. You can just pick this one. And then you can get easier and better crew. And the the two last ones, I picked the gun traverse and the aiming speed. Yes, you're hampering the top speed of the tank, but with the turbo on it, it kind of offsets it. And going 50 with a heavy, it's enough. It's enough. It also offsets the problem from the parallax adjustment here completely. So we're just gaining from it. And since we're using the turbo most of the times, it's not too much hampering for us. And the last equipment, it's the dispersion. This is what really kicks in for your tank. This is sort of the tips the edge when you can do the snapshot and not. So when this tank is fully upgraded with the field modification, that's when it's super deadly. And the 2% vehicle hit points, you might say, oh man, I don't want to lose hit points. But then we're gaining 3% just by leveling. And to be honest, it doesn't, where is it? It doesn't really, it's -40. Yes, it's gonna be sometimes, but I definitely think the dispersion offset is way better to have. And like I said, we choose the mobility one, at least for me. But if you're not going to use any bounty or bond equipment, then the firepower. But that's it for the field modification. And to say the last notes about this tank, it's a beast. It's great, good, and it's an absolute devastation on the battlefield. Absolutely, it devastates so often, so much. I think this tank is too good at the moment. It needs to be tackled down by nerfs. Either increase the reload, increase the intro reload, make the tank more wonky in gun, make the gun handling worse is what I'm trying to say. Or I don't know. They keep the mobility. I think that's fine. The armor, I think that's fine as well. It's both good and bad, but it's more good armor than bad. But maybe they should just increase the inter reload, the between the shots. Because 2 shots autoloader when it's 2 seconds between is a very, very, very powerful tool in randoms. And obviously the 19 seconds reload that I have on my tank, you're not far away from the fight. It's ridiculous sometimes. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked my little review of the VZ55. Stay tuned because there's gonna be more videos. But anyway, I'm out of here.